come to the bold analysis, there is a research that has just been done and have just been released by Tifa, and I want us to look at that survey so that we can draw political observations from that. Tifa is saying, and did the research in all the 9 regions or the 8 regions in the country, with an intention of finding out the extent of messaging on Azimio la Umoja and the eligibility threshold that William Ruto could be enjoying worldwide if indeed there is a convincing eligibility threshold. And Tifa says that those who voted for Odinga, quite a number are convinced that he won, and those who also voted for William Ruto, there is also a bit of what others believe on. Tifa said that 12% of Kenyans who voted for President William Ruto believe he did not win that election. Further, according to the survey, 14% of Kenyans who voted for Ruto Gachagua ticket were not sure that he beat Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga. So if you match the 14% of Kenyans who voted now, that's all Kenyans. There is a survey on those who voted for William Ruto. Do you believe that William Ruto won? Amongst those 12% do not believe. And then all Kenyans, irrespective of where you voted, do you believe that William Ruto won? There is another 14%. So if you add 14 and 12, it brings you to 26%. Even though generally, the general survey is talking about a 48% believing on William Ruto won, and 37% that do not believe, that believe it was Raila Odinga's win. For those who voted for Odinga, 71% believe that he won the hotly contested presidential election. So out of all those who voted, 71%, there is some interpretation to this data. Number one, the 26% that do not believe William Ruto won, the supporters that have changed their mind, these are just supporters that are showing dissatisfaction with it. And in fact, it's a bit of a gap between the messaging, because when you voted to believe that he was going to be the president, and maybe what Sophia has done. Now, for them to believe that he may not have won, that means that they are believing, or rather consuming, or rather they are convinced with the illegitimacy campaign that Azimio la Umoja has been doing against William Ruto. So that's a very critical aspect that can also be seen here. That for them to believe that they didn't win, that means they believe on what Raila Odinga team is saying. Now, I want us to look at this data critically. The 71% on the other side on Azimio la Umoja that believe he won that election, this is also a team that believe very well that the question about the server, or rather the question about rigging, to them is something that is very legitimate. And in fact, the question here is on legitimacy question. I don't think it's even more on Raila Odinga. If you take 71% of Raila Odinga supporters, those who voted for him believe he's paying, he won. That means the messaging, he's still carrying along. He's still going around with the supporters. If you take that 71% and the 26% that believe Ruto did not lose, then that can tell you that the scales are actually tilting. So I want us to draw some very important interpretation to this. Ruto seems to be rapidly losing his popularity. And it's not about now William Ruto, it's now government. When William Ruto was campaigning, it was Ruto as a presidential candidate. But now, it is the UDA administration. So in this analysis, I want to try to scale it down into why he's losing that. But before we look at that, before we delve deep into those details, I want to remind us about the fundraiser to support Mercy husband in the purchase of acquiring a motorbike by Monday. I know the first part of it we completed, and we achieved the target, and she was released. The lady was released. But again, as we agreed that we escalated it until the weekend, but there was no need to keep the lady in the hospital. So the lady was released, but then the remaining bit, I'm just doing the 50 shillings challenge. So thank you for those who are sponsoring others. If you do 100, 200, 1,000, sponsoring more, I believe that the 70,000 target will be achieved by the end of the week. We are doing now 50, we've now 15,000. We are now waiting with a balance of 55,000. Now, what do you think Ruto got wrong? What do you think Ruto got wrong? Concentration on political activities. I think for better part of, for the last 7 months, if you audit last 7 months, every activity, every decision that UDA has made, it has been made in the context of politics. And in fact, everything has been politicized. And sorry to say that now, the judgment that Kenyans give to Ruto is on political grounds. And because it's on political grounds, he cannot win it because he's not doing much to the community, or rather he's not doing much to the citizens. So that concentration, even if you go for a church interdenominational service, it becomes a political battleground. Even if you go to launch a project, it becomes an opportunity to speak politics. Even if you are making a speech in Statehouse, meeting MPs and delegation, it's politics. When you're launching a project, even here in Nairobi, it's more politics. So himself, he has taken the mood back to a political mood, because that he has known very well that that's where he will survive. In terms of track record, it's not there. So what has made William Ruto to lose bit of this is that concentration. I see him concentrating so much on it, and it's not really adding value so far. Then the second thing, I think Raila push for Sava is sinking, and people are taking it. The discussion, the argument has been that, and that is the position, that those who support William Ruto consume his message that the server was opened by the time we finished election. But those who support Raila Odinga also believe that Raila has legitimate calls for that server to be opened. So if you see people tilting, that even those who believe they voted for William Ruto, but they're now saying they believe Raila won, that means that the scales is tilting. And it's because one of the giant messages Azimio la Umoja is trying to push is the question of server. So if you look at it keenly, I can see very well that information is sinking, and it seems to be changing the tide against the William Ruto. The other thing here is this. And if there is something that will collapse, and this is something that will kill this administration, is activism in reversal of Uhuru Kenyatta's policies. And it's already costing. The issue of the subsidies and the cost of living, it all started by that reversal. And even with that reversal, I agree with Jeremiah Kioni said that William Ruto could have been right in ending these subsidies, but you needed to do it in phases so that you don't cut it off once, because if you do it once, you are hurting the population and you're also choking the economy. So I agree with what Jeremiah Kioni said, that what you need to do is it's right to do away with the subsidies, but you need to do it in phases so that you also keen not to hurt the economy. And again, lastly, in truth, UDA is lacking what I can call the feel-good effect. The feel-good effect is this. We campaigned on a platform of optimism, and we promised a lot. We promised change. We promised, instant success. But that instant success is nowhere. So because of that instant success, the economy seems to have collapsed. And has collapsed because people don't have money. We introduced Hustler Fund. It was supposed to inject money in the population. It did not. We are really struggling. Even we've not paid counties. So in real sense, even people at the rural, I'm just looking at it this way. The counties, if we interviewed anyone who is working in the county, in those counties, do you think it's going to support William Ruto? It's not. Because at the end of the day, there is personal fortune that is missing. Someone has missed a salary. This person can't be happy. And so that's why I also believe that it is creating a bit of that problem. So I was just doing a short analysis on this survey. I'm going to look at it more further into details. But then allow me leave you with the last bit of those who are still following up. This is the fundraiser we are doing to support this young couple. And I want to leave you with that video so that you have an idea of what has been happening. I know many people are not privy to it. We are ending it in this weekend. So we are targeting 70,000 to help the husband of Mercy acquire a motorbike. And the target is yet to be there. So I've pinned the number. Kindly let's support and let's see how we can take the family, can support them on Monday.
So after she gave birth, mtoto alikuwa nursery after 5 days. So after 5 days from nursery, we went back home. We were just home, things were well. After some few weeks, then wife got complications. Alianza ku bleed, mysteriously bleeding, and I was shocked. Ran out to call the doctor, and the doctor told me to bring the lady in the hospital.
Wapi? Unaishi wapi?
Okay, naishi Dandora.
Okay.
Phase 5.
Okay.
So daktari alijaribu akashindwa. The lady was seriously bleeding. Akaniambia nitafute taxi to rush mgonjwa Kenyatta. Nikafanya hivyo, tukafika Kenyatta. Wakati nilifika Kenyatta, mama alikuwa admitted. Na from hapo, so
alikuwa admitted sasa Kenyatta.
Alikuwa admitted Kenyatta hospital.
Na wakati alikuwa admitted, the child now, but the child,
okay,
the child is fine?
By the time...
But then this is the child.
Yeah.
And
this is my baby.
This is your baby. And
yeah.
Ni baby boy and
baby boy. To Jason.
Oh, good. Even my son was born in February. So now, where are you from first?
Okay, right now I'm from the Kenyatta Hospital. Nilipeleka mtoto kunyonya, and that is how I always do it. Nampeleka, ananyonya, namrudisha kwa nyumba.
Unampeleka kila siku?
Daily.
In the morning ama unakana the whole day?
No. Nampeleka in the evening. In the evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then sasa sahi ukitoka unaenda tu mnalala.
Sahi nikitoka naenda kwa nyumba. So nikiwa pale kwa nyumba, mtoto ana survive na maziwa ya kuchemsha. Nachemsha, naongeza maji kidogo. And that's it.
Wow. You've really impressed me. How about the child? Yeah, alikuwa sawa hata wakitoka Pumwani?
Okay, mtoto wakati tulikuwa tunatoka Pumwani, mtoto since alikunywa ile amniotic fluid, ile uchafu. So mtoto amekuwa na shida hiyo ya kungorota, anangorota. Ni kama anafungana hewa.
Okay.
So doctors gave me some medicine ile ya kudrop kwa mapua wakati anatoa hiyo sauti. So hiyo ndo nimekuwa nikitumia, but still at times nasikia anatoa hiyo sauti kama
hata sasa nasikia na
hata sasa. Yeah.
What did the doctors in Kenyatta say was the problem?
Doctors in Kenyatta waliniambia mama wakati alizaa kuna vile mtoto alimrarua, they got a tear. So walimshona, alienda theater wakamshona.
Na alizaa normal?
Alizaa normal.
Na tear. Okay. So, anafaa show me what. Okay. Yeah. We may not understand because we don't have a lady here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was what was bringing the complication about the bleeding.
Yeah.
Guys, I was told this, and I really got touched by his story, Stephen's story. You know, when he was telling me you were in Kenyatta, and I was like, okay, what's going on? So it's been there for how many days?
Since date second.
Date second.
Yeah.
The bill is?
The bill is 80,000.
80,000.
Yeah.
Wow. But then now that you take care every evening, when do you go to work now? Do you even go to work now that?
No. Okay. About my work, I'm a boda rider. Na pikipiki naendesha ni ya mtu na ni ya loan. So wakati nilikuwa na hii shida, pikipiki ilibidi tu iendelee kufanya kazi sababu inalipwa daily. So mwenyewe alichukua na alitafuta mwingine aendelee.
Oh, so what you normally your work is kuendesha boda?
Yes.
So because of this, that is good. You can. But then how do you survive? Okay, you should not ask that. So should get what is the terms of the loan? How much do you pay to get a pikipiki and loan so that you pay pole maybe?
Okay, for now loan walipandisha deposit. Kwa sahi deposit ni 25,000.
Okay. Then so if you get 25,000,
yes,
you go and pay, and you're given a motorbike on loan.
Yeah.
Then you pay is the rest in installments.
Yeah.
Which you can manage.
I can manage to get 500 per day.
Oh. You unapata in this around Dandora.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, I brought Stephen here because I wanted us to get feel of this story, and this is one we can do this. We've always done this. This is 80,000. Today's date 14. If you give yourself 1 week, Friday. Yeah, so let's try. Let's do a 50 shillings challenge. I've decided not to. I'm going to share the number, nobody's number, because of a bit of that disturbance. But I am also asking those who can be willing to reach out to me. My number is there. I'll directly connect you with him so that whichever God has blessed you with, at least atoka. So Mama amekaa hospitali for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you guys are young couples, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, and may God bless you for being a father to this child. I know it's really touching. It's really touching the heart, and I believe that as bold family this will come to an end. I know we will find a way. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Sawa. Asante. Aya.